So today we are going to do a new build. Okay, so for today I wanted to do a build. Nothing fancy, yeah, it's going to be fancy, I hope it's going to be fancy, but just a regular build. And this is due because I just finished my review on this Montech Sky 1. And it has something quite similar to NZXT's H-series cases, this bracket here, but it is in white. And as it turns out, I have a ton of gear in basically white, so I thought it would look really cool in here, and then I can repurpose the B-rolls created from this video for the Montech review, which is like, everything fits in nicely here. So okay, this is what we are going to do today, and now I will show you what we are going to use. Okay, so the first very important contestant is my beloved Asus, okay, let's do it again. Asus ROG Strix Z690A Gaming Wi-Fi D4 motherboard. Wow, that's a freakishly long name. Let's be honest, this will fit in perfectly. Then, due to the Z690 motherboard, I can again use my 12900K, so we will also be doing a real powerhouse today. On a short side note, some white RAM, because white RAM. And as the last very important piece, we have my Gigabyte Vision 3070. Now, I do know that pairing a 12900K with a 3070 looks kind of odd, but it's going to be like that. I can't do anything about it. I do not have a 3080, 3090, not yet, so that's the max I can do. Plus, let's be honest, we can call this a editing machine, and having a 3090 against a 3070 does not make that much of a change. The 12900 would make way more of a change. So yeah, let's call this a editing rig. What are we missing? Of course, some random Be Quiet power supply that I just pulled out of something. Then for cooling, as it turns out, very surprisingly for me, the Arctic Freezer 34 Esports Duo is a real cooling monster. So although the 12900K is a really hot piece of silicon, I think this should be enough to cool it. I do not believe it has a big headroom, but we will see. I guess it will work, but we will see about that. Then those are the two fans coming from here, and we will pair it with 3 more of these Arctic Bionics P120s, just because those are pretty nice fans. And in the front, we will use some of Arctic's Bionics F140s in black and white. And if you haven't noticed until now, we have a very obvious color scheme going here. We have mostly white with a bit of black. The case from the outside should be black, and everything from the inside should be white. And we will make this even more obvious with my box of good-looking cables with a box of white extensions. And to finish the build, because I almost forgot about it, we will also use one of my Samsung 970 Pro NVMe M.2 512 gigs, because we need to boot Windows from something. Yeah, isn't this a nice image? So this is going to be the build. I realized that I need a name for it, so the best thing I could come up with is NightLight. So this is going to be the 12900K 3070 editing rig called NightLife. No, not life, no, NightLight. So something that I really learned to love about these, this Asus motherboard is that LGA 1700 and LGA 1200 socket mounting for coolers, and that's like the nicest thing about this motherboard, because I do not have a lot of those LGA 1700 mounting kits. I have them for Noctua, I believe, not yet for Arctic, I think. So yeah, it comes in really handy, and can we just admire for a second how beautiful this looks? Oh, this motherboard is so gorgeous. But yeah, let's do some of that too, until I have something more to say. easy was that? And can we just admire for a second the excellent work I've done on cable management for these two fans here? Usually my take on cable management is more, I'm just hoping that nobody will see it, but this time I'm actually a bit proud of it. For the RAM we are going with two ballistics, crucial ballistics, 16 gigs in total, 3200. I know 16 gigs in total is not a lot, 3200 is actually pretty okay. Or mostly okay. I would have preferred more, of course, but I can't. But I would have preferred like 64 gigs, especially for something like a 12900K. It makes a lot of sense, especially because this is like a editing rig, and for an editing rig you want more than 16 gigs. But I do not have more than 16 gigs, so we will need to go with what I actually have. CPU in, CPU cooled, RAM in. I guess it's time to put the motherboard into the case. A couple of things about that Montech Sky 1. First of all, it's a really amazing case. I mean, the review turned out really positively, and it's the little things. I mean, quality-wise, it's really not that bad actually for a Montech case. The fans are not like throwaway fans, although I cannot make like a full benchmark with them because I just have one RGB and one non-RGB model, and I have no idea about the model name, number, or whatever. So I just can't make any numbers out of it. But nonetheless, the case was pretty well received, and I'm sure it will be perfectly fine for this use case, even for a beast like a 12900K. But we do not need any RGB today. I will leave the strips in the front in, sure, I mean that's part of the case, but the fans are going out. I will put some of those Bionics fans on there. But like the best feature about this case, and I said it in the review, are these like contacts. It's not contactless, but like cable-less contact RGB cable going to the front panel. That's really amazing. I know it from the Cooler Master MB540, this one here, and it's it's really easy to work with it, honestly. I would prefer that every case does it like on a default basis. Okay, before I put in the three front fans, I will use those Arctic Bionics F140s. So when I finished the review, I was doing a couple of benchmarks, right? And I had the scene where I was comparing them like, these are the best in line, right? And I wanted to have all of my Arctic fans, because basically now I have every Arctic fan in existence, except for this like half numbers like F12, non-PVM, like that kind of crap. But I have all of the main ones. So I had them all lined up, and I had amazing B-roll. And I wanted to do like a shot where the slider goes with the camera along the side, and I did that, and then I wanted to make all of them spin. So I have like a brick power supply sitting around. I put in the first one, then I daisy chained the cable to the next one, and so on. It would have worked, that is not a problem. But if you know something about putting two fans, one right after the other one, the one in the front will basically start to spin a bit quicker than it is supposed to be spinning, because the second one is pulling more air through it than the first one is actually able to push through it. So it is starting to spin even quicker and quicker. And I did that whole line, and I started at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at some point something happened. I don't know if the first fan just started to spin like crazy. That's also a possibility. Or I touched it with my elbow. I don't know, but I have it on camera. And I knocked everything off, and you may even be able to see the frame where my brand new Bionics F140 hit something and it completely shattered off one of the wings, but like straight cut, it just exploded. And you can afterwards see how it is shaky without one of the wings. It is completely nuts. Nothing was destroyed, just the fan had a broken wing, but it was a huge issue because I did not yet do the A rolls for the fan. I had the benchmarks done, the B rolls done, everything was alright, just the A rolls. Me sitting around the camera and the three fans beside me. So what I did is go and buy something like two compound glue. I have no idea how to call it. Zwei-Komponenten-Kleber. I have no freaking idea. It's epoxy adhesive. So I went and got this, like it's like epoxy that starts to come hard as soon as like both of these tubes like the liquid in them starts to mix. It's crazy stuff in here, and I needed to put like tape on the other side to keep the wing straight, or as straight as I could while I was epoxying it, and it took like 3 days. But I'm so glad, because today I can now make, yes, without bending the frame, but I can make it spin normally, and it does not make too much of an, you know, like an 8. It works fine, even at full speed. It works very fine. I'm very proud of this. So yeah, let's put my Frankenstein fan into this.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things, what could go wrong, what fame brings. But success is a finicky thing, and if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. And I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down.
We are back to the dumbest thing about this case, and that is that that I need to remove this whole freaking shroud just to install the GPU, and I think that is incredibly dumb. It's the only dumb thing about this case, honestly. But at least we get a free GPU sag, anti-sag bracket. That's at least something nice. Well then, this is it. NightLight. I love how this turned out. I think the whole white thing going is really good looking, and I set the front RGB to just be a straight white line, which just... It's not obvious that it is RGB, and it looks decent, and that's the look I was going for, and I'm really happy how it turned out. For the cooling, that's an important point. I measured idle because for some reason people keep measuring idle. And idle was running between 31 and 34 degrees C. The room temperature is right now 24. I don't know why you would measure idle. That's like, you never know how much your whole thing will clock down. So why measure it? I also did a CPU-Z stress test, or bench, however they call it. I did Firmark on 1080p, 8 MSAA, and let it run for like 30 minutes, and we hit 87 degree on the package, which is really alright, considering the undersized cooler that is on here, and it shows how insanely well that Arctic Freezer 34 performs. Anyway, so cooling is working just fine. I mean, 87 degrees C for a 12900K is really alright, so I'm happy how it turned out. The design, I mean, that's up to you to judge. I'm really proud of myself. And before we end this, I know people are always asking about benchmarks, so I will blend in a couple now, but just keep in mind that this is not really a gaming PC. I mean, it's a 12900K, this is more a editing rig. It is a working PC, a 3070. There are better GPUs for gaming than a 3070, considering what CPU I have in here. But anyway, people keep asking, so here we have a couple of benchmarks. So yeah, it is truly a powerhouse of a PC, and I mean, for gaming it is really not the perfect candidate, but for working like Premiere Pro, what I'm using every day, this is as good as it gets right now. The only thing I'm quite sad about is the RAM configuration. 2 sticks of 16 gigs. No, it's 8 gigs. 2 sticks of 8 gigs, like 16 gigs in total, 3200 is really not the best thing I could have done, but I mean, I need to work with what I have. I'm really happy how it turned out, but tell me your opinion in the comment section below. Maybe I could have done something better. Maybe we will do a NightLight 2 version in a couple of months. Who knows? But yeah. Okay, this was it for today. I would like to thank you for watching. And yeah, before I forget it, we now have a Discord server. So use the link in the description below and hop on and let's do some random stuff over there. But yeah, for today, that's it. I would like to thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.